Welcome back to iGaming. Today we're going to be looking at Vane, as they have just released Devlog number 5, and it's pretty interesting. These guys are making massive progress, and each update that they bring adds a hell of a lot to the game. Some things are very small, but they add a lot of gameplay elements and improvements, especially to performance with each update, which is really nice, and they have made a hell of a lot of progress since February when the game started its development. That is pretty damn quick. They've not even been in development for a year, and they have made a hell of a lot of progress. Now, as it's the 1st of December, if you have been following me on socials, you know that we are doing a load of giveaways all the way through up until Christmas, and this is the first one. Throughout this video, there will be a random game key that drops. The first person to claim that key will win the game. Once you've got it, let me know in the comments. I'll also pop in the comments the game itself, so if you do want to find out what it is before you attempt to get it, then check down there. Before we jump into the devlog, I do want to say this is a sort of different style of content than what I'd normally do. Normally I break things down and show individual pieces, rather than play the video through and pause it and talk about little bits as we go along. So if you do like this format, please let me know in the comments, or if it's not for you and you'd like to see me break it down entirely and talk over little bits individually, then let me know also. Let's jump in and check out Vane Devlog number 5.
Hi everyone, welcome to Vane Devlog number 5. We've got a lot to talk about in this update, so we're going to get right into it. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We don't spam, and we only put out videos of interest.
That's very true.
Starting off with characters, we've added a completely new base character to the game. The new character supports male, female, and neutral appearances, more sliders particularly for body shape.
Now before they do go on, if you haven't actually tried this out, then definitely head over to their Steam page. It's free at the moment, I believe, and the amount of character customization, as you can just see from this, is absolutely insane.
New skin tones, facial emotion expressions which will be useful for NPCs, and visemes for lip syncing. We've improved the character creation camera by allowing you to manually toggle camera zooms at will.
The amount of detail that they've gone into just in the creation alone is brilliant. Absolutely love it. There's so much that you can do. You could spend 2 hours creating a character in this game easily.
We've added a character menu to the inventory menu. This allows for a quick overview of your character, as we found some people were forgetting what uniquenesses or former occupations they picked.
I'm guilty of that.
You can now sleep on beds. Sleeping on a bed sets a spawn point for your character, where you will respawn after death.
That is something that people have wanted. It's so helpful as well. You do respawn in the same spot, even before they added this, so it didn't really matter too much. But actually being able to pick where you respawn is going to be so beneficial, especially if you're playing in a group and you've got yourself a nice little base built up. I really like that, and I'm glad that they've added that this early.
In single player, sleeping advances time 6 hours, allowing you to bypass night if you so choose. We've added more.
And bypassing night as well is quite a good thing, because it is brutal, and the night is literally pitch black. You cannot see a goddamn thing, which that's how it's meant to be. You know, it's meant to be dark, dingy, a little bit gritty, but it's nice that they've done that, and you can actually sleep through it, which early stages is going to be very helpful, because you don't really have the tools to take everything on towards the start of the game.
Ways to reduce stress in your character, as well as actual functionality to the stress condition. Watching TV, writing notes, and listening to music all decrease your character's stress level. We've also added a panic condition, triggered when your character gets surprised by a zombie or raider. This causes your character to aim worse, do less damage, and move faster.
That is awesome. So, not only, I know they had the stress and all that kind of stuff, but that panic mode sounds wicked. So as soon as something panics you, the amount of detail just in the character itself alone, so not the actual gameplay, just your character, is mental. Like I said, if you haven't tried this out, 100% recommend it. It is a brilliant game.
We've added an illness system to the game. You can catch stomach flus, influenza, and common colds as of right now.
Okay.
One example way to get infected is to touch doorknobs.
That's cool.
Illnesses resolve on their own, but make combat and exercise much harder for your character.
So that was something I massively struggled with when I first started playing, the debuffs. So as you can see up here, like pain, soaked, all that. They are tough. It is not meant to be an easy game at all, this one. It is a very detailed survival game, which I think we need something like that. There's so many cookie cutter games being pushed out at the moment, and something with this level of detail is definitely going to be interesting to get into, especially with the community aspect of it and working together and starting to build a home later down the line. These kinds of things are going to really, really help out.
We've added some uniquenesses and occupations. You can now opt to have your character be unable to smell, hampering their ability to detect poison or cleaning materials in bottles. In addition,
that's cool.
We've added 2 new occupations: bankers, who are better with money, and athletes, who start off physically more capable.
Alright, alright.
Now
this is something I like.
Textures for food and cleaning items. This isn't a huge project or anything, but does get our world looking a little bit more cohesive.
Things do look a lot better now. Now they've done that.
To vein. Consuming it reduces.
And this, as well as this is a very big bit here. The developers must love getting high because they have added cannabis. There's weed brownies. There's all sorts in it.
Stress and increases hunger and lethargy. Food can now be spiked with drugs or sharp objects, and there's a chance brownies you find in kitchens contain cannabis.
That's brilliant.
We've created a new item spawning system which should bring far more performance to the table. In this system, items and containers are virtualized, meaning they don't have a physical presence in the world and don't take up nearly as much memory as they used to. You might see a performance boost thanks to this.
Definitely going to see a performance boost because of that. The amount of loot that you can find. And I know being able to find a lot of loot is good in some games, but in this they've tried to make it quite real, and the amount of shit that you find in people's cupboards is insane. So you could find all sorts of random crap, but a lot of it you can actually use as weapons or for crafting. That is the beauty of it. It's not entirely useless. You can use everything to a certain extent.
You can now quickly dismantle items by holding down left alt and clicking the item in your inventory.
Oh, thank God.
This should help speed up the routine task of getting scrap for crafting and construction.
Yep.
We've added farming to vein. You can dig plots and plant seeds in them. After a few days, the seeds will mature into crops that can be harvested. Plants require adequate water, sunlight, and temperature to grow. In poor conditions, such as if they're watered improperly or become dry, the growing plant will die. While we don't expect many players to use this system quite yet, it'll become more useful in the endgame when scavenging takes a back seat to rebuilding.
See, I don't know. I think I'd try and use that as much as possible at the start, because, you know, you're building your community up, and you want to try and get as much of that food, and then keep all the canned stuff for later on. I can't remember if there's actually a there is a decay system on fruit and stuff, so you know you'd want to try and get that stuff nice and early. Obviously it's going to be a bit more work to get early on, and you'll have to use some of the canned goods and bits that you can find and cook, but you know, it's I don't know, I suppose it depends on your playstyle, really.
We've added utility slots for equipment.
Oh, so glad they've done this.
Stuff in your inventory just had an effect on you. Possessing a flashlight, for example, would cause your built-in flashlight to become brighter. You now have to physically equip these. Items affected by this are flashlights, radios, GPS devices, cell phones, etc. We've also added backpacks to the game, which expand your carry weight.
Oh,
We've
I'm
added
so
tree
happy.
chopping to vein, which creates a quick way to get large quantities of wood for construction purposes.
Getting wood was a ball ache before, but now they've done this. This is going to be brilliant.
Using either the fire axe or wood axe should allow you to harvest trees.
I love the items in the inventory as well. They look so damn cool. Everything just looks awesome.
Electrical equipment, like flashlights or radios, now require and consume batteries.
Ah, oh, bollocks. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to come eventually, but yeah, having batteries and things, it makes things so much harder to use. But, you know, it is what it is, right? It does add to that realism.
Melee combat has been slightly improved with the addition of blocking using your secondary attack button. This significantly mitigates most blunt damage, as you'd expect. There are also some new melee weapon sound effects.
That sounds much better than before. Now, this is something that I was a bit... I struggled with. The AI is very finicky. Like, the looting and all of that aspect, I think the amount of detail that's gone into it is insane. I feel like the zombies were just a little bit like... And the melee combat was a bit meh. So, hopefully this update does change that.
Zombies are now sometimes stun-locked when attacking. This has had the impact of making melee combat feel much more responsive than in previous versions of Vayne.
Nice.
At least, we think so. It also increases the challenge of multiple zombies. One zombie is easy to take down, whereas a group of them surrounding you is not so simple. Zombies can now crawl on the ground. If they lose legs, they'll fall down and start crawling towards you. Some zombies spawn as crawlers as well. We've started work on human AI. They're really stupid right now. All they ever do is see things they don't like, run towards them, and start punching or using a melee weapon on them. However, obviously, this isn't the final state of them, and they're going to be improved significantly over time, eventually becoming actual characters instead of what are essentially zombies. It's a start, though.
Yeah,
you can salvage items they have on them, like clothes.
You got to start somewhere, right? And I like that they've actually got the clothes in the inventory that you can see on them, which is quite cool. But that's cool. Whether these guys are just going to be roaming or whether they'll be bandits, yet to be seen. But I like that they've added human AI.
We've added radios to the game, both walkie-talkie style short...
So this, right, is something that I've never actually seen in a game. It might be out there, it might be in another game. If you have seen it before, please let me know. But I find this really, really interesting. The segment goes on for a couple of minutes. I'm going to be a little bit quiet. And yeah, I think this is really cool. This is awesome.
Shortwave radios and long-range broadcast radios. Shortwave radios can be tuned to a specific channel, and a chat command has been added to speak through a radio. The radio channels are public, so if someone finds a channel you and your friends are using, they can listen in. In addition, once VoIP is in, you'll be able to talk over the radios that way. Long-range radios pick up media from any radio stations that are still broadcasting due to automated emergency systems, radio playlist loops, or just eccentric DJs with a love for music. We want them to broadcast emergency information and alerts in the future, but right now there's just one functional radio station.
See, that is so cool.
We aim to get a station in the actual world as well that you can visit and control.
And that,
along with
I love that. Getting into a station and controlling it, that sounds awesome.
Broadcast radios themselves, we've added a broadcast radio and general world media system. This is a system we're using to sync up radio and television broadcasts, and radios and TVs in the world currently use it. This means all players hear the same music on the same stations, and all TVs are broadcasting the same things across the network. We've changed night a bit. Night now passes 3 times faster than day by default, and server
Thank God. Oh.
owners can configure this if they want. We've also finally added...
Now that brings me to a point of servers. I am thinking of setting up a server. If you guys would like to see a server, a wide gaming server, community server, let me know in the comments. Depending on cost, how much it is, we'll look into it anyway. But we might do a sort of members server or something like that.
Moonlight, so night isn't completely pitch black all the time.
Alright, good.
We've updated to Unreal 5.1, which brings some nice features with it. Notably, foliage can now be rendered with nanite. This means our forests now have better performance, while simultaneously not having level of detail pop-in, characteristic of most open-world games out of production right now. We've also added a wind effect to grass, which was disabled in prior versions due to an Unreal Engine 5.0 bug causing the rendering to jitter. We've added some more construction menu snapping. Crates now snap to shelves. It's about the small things when it comes to quality of life updates.
Do you know what?
Finally,
that is so true. In QOL updates, the tiniest things can make the biggest difference. And something like that is brilliant. Same as snapping foundations, all that kind of jazz. And I love that. I think that's nice. Nice little change.
You can now unlock doors from the inside. I know it seems obvious as a feature to include, but sometimes you just forget stuff like that. We've been playing a lot of
we're all
Zomboid
human.
lately,
What happens? That happens, doesn't it? I still need to try Zomboid.
We've made a couple small changes to the admin menu. It's now accessible in single player. We're going to attempt to move as many debug commands to this as we can and call it a debug menu while Vane's in development. We've added some common management settings to it as well. You can now turn invisible, no-clip, fly, toggle God mode, and toggle collision.
That's cool, alright.
You can now manually save and load listen servers. Previously, servers could only be auto-saved, but we think it makes more sense for locally started servers to be able to manage themselves. We've added a new feedback menu with public feedback and voting. This will let us know how strongly the community feels about certain issues. We can respond to issues with notes as well, for example, if features are in the next update or if we've decided to veto a request. There's also a known bugs section where we can provide info back to players. You can access that out of the game by typing /knownbugs on our Discord server, and we're looking to integrate the other parts of the feedback reporter into our Discord server as well. The vast majority of Vane players don't watch these devlogs and are not members of the Discord, so communication is generally one-sided, and we think this is going to improve feedback a lot. We've started work on vehicles. You can spawn the one vehicle in the game right now from the admin.
I love this.
It's completely broken in multiplayer, and isn't really meant to be used yet, but you can kind of see where it's going. Vehicles have gas tanks, glove compartments, trunks, etc. We don't know how many vehicles or what vehicles are going to be in the game yet. One vehicle we are definitely going to aim for is an RV, on which you can construct fortifications and build a mobile base.
I love that idea.
As always, each update contains lots of bug fixes. We just don't mention them usually because they're not really features.
That's good, you know. Every bug fixes are brilliant, and I'm getting like massive Survive the Nights vibes. So much of this is what Survive the Nights sort of has or is going to have, and I love it. I think it's brilliant, absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see where this game's going to be in sort of like 3 or 4 months.
So that's it for Devlog
5 or 6, 7,
Vane 0.005 will be dropping on Steam shortly. I want to thank all of you for the support. It's been overwhelming in only good ways. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Now that was brilliant. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Please, once again, let me know what you think about the format. I do find it a little bit easier to do it that way, and I can obviously do it the other way. It's not a problem at all. I just find it easier to do it that way because I end up forgetting things and missing things. I have like mad ADHD, so my brain just farts when I'm trying to do things in separate bits. Whereas if I do it in one order, I find it a lot easier. But it is what it is. Anyway, enough of that crap. So, what do you think to Vane? All the links to the game are in the description down below. If you do want to check it out, head over to Steam. I'm pretty sure the demo is still up and running. And if you do want to give them feedback, use the Discord, use all that jazz. It's an awesome game, and these developers are working really hard to make it even better. And they could do that a lot easier with feedback from the community and the players that are playing it. So please just always remember to give them feedback. They appreciate it, and it makes the game better for everybody. For now, though, hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully someone has won the key. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video. I've been Wired. You've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.